And the girls had a pizza party. While eating, Dr. Song came back, rang the doorbell, and visited a little while. Had a piece of pizza and some soda. And as he left, and he looked at the girls and he said, "It looks like you girls have something really special going on here. I'm not sure what," but he said, "It looks special, and I'm envious. Because when I grew up, I didn't have a brother or a sister." So as he left, he said, "Oh, and there's a carnival at the lakeside tonight. Perhaps you girls would be interested in that." And he said good night, and please tell Brandy that he'll call her tomorrow. She remained in bed sound asleep. And so, as he left, Esther said, "Who's interested in that carnival?" And everybody was excited. Raven, Day, and Riley Grace. Especially Riley Grace. So they went to the carnival. It took them maybe 15, 20 minutes to get to the carnival. They were able to park close. Esther bought tickets for everybody for all the rides. And while on the Ferris wheel, Day did not like the height of the Ferris wheel. She confessed, "I do not like heights." She was sitting with Esther. And Esther said, "Well, hold on, keep breathing." And she gave Day a lifesaver, a butterscotch lifesaver that was going to relax her, and it did. And so while they were in the Ferris wheel, she noticed 6 young men chasing one person, and they got him chased behind a tent, and they surrounded him. Looked like they were slapping him around. So when the Ferris wheel ended, Esther told Day not to interfere, but that she was going to go see what was happening and to stand back and simply observe. So Esther went over and talked to the people. She got in the center of the conflict, grabbed one of the young men's arm that was slapping the kid around, and he happened to be Chinese. And the young man said, "Who are you and what are you doing?" She said, "Well, I'm Ester Saint. I was on the Ferris when I saw 6 men chasing somebody, and I thought maybe he was a criminal. Did this man do something wrong?" And he said, "No, he's Chinese. Look at him. My dad lost his job to China, and now the Chinese are coming here taking more jobs." Esther said, "Well, let's talk to this person and see." And so she looked at the young man and said, "Are you Chinese?" And he said, "I am 3rd generation American. I was born here. My dad was born here. My great-grandfather came to this country over 100 years ago." And Esther looked at the young man that was angry, and she said, "Well, look, he's American, and the only true Americans are the Indians who came here 14,000 years ago, And of course, we took the land away from them. And at that point, the young man said, everything's messed up. He turned to the Chinese person and apologized, said, man, I'm just angry. I'm sorry. I'm just venting, and I shouldn't have done this. I apologize. And he walked off. So at that point, Esther walked up to the young Chinese man and held her hand out. And she said, I'm Ester Saint. You seem to be okay. And he said, I could have taken them, but there were 6 of them. And Esther said, when attacked by more than one person, you should remember, usually only one attacks you at a time. And he thought for a moment, and he said, you're right. Thank you for that wisdom. He said, Ester Saint, I've heard of your name. The Chinese community thinks a lot of you. He said, thank you for your help. I owe you a big debt. And he laughed. And then Ray and Day and Raven and Riley Grace, they came up, and Esther immediately said, who wants cotton candy? And especially Riley Grace got excited. So they got some cotton candy. Esther only ate a little bit of it. She shared hers with her sister. And they finished the rides. They went home. On the way home, Riley Grace fell asleep. And so Esther suggested to Raven, why don't you carry her into the apartment and we'll put her to bed. Well, Raven had never carried her sister before anywhere, and Riley Grace's long cylinder legs dangled, and they took her inside. They stripped her down to her underwear and noticed that Riley Grace had painted her toenails black. Esther looked at that and then looked at Raven and said, seems like maybe your sister wants to be a little bit like you. And she looked at Raven and said, you know, Riley Grace trusted you with her life. She told you to come get me, and she believed that you would, and you did. And everything came out okay. So she trusts her sister a lot. I think that speaks volumes for how she feels about you. And so with that, the 3 girls went into the living room and talked to her a little while. Raven started yawning, and Esther said, well, you join your sister in my bed. The 2 of you might have some special dreams tonight. It seems like people that sleep together in that bed sometimes share their dreams. It's hard to explain, but it seems that way. And then Esther went into the 3rd bedroom, the middle bedroom, and pulled out a mattress that had a compressed air canister, and it quickly inflated an air mattress, and she and Dave were going to sleep on that. But before that, Esther and Day took a long shower, and Esther enjoyed Day washing her back. She had become spoiled, getting her back washed. And they went to sleep. The next morning, Aunt Brandy would be surprised with a house full of girls